will be leaving this dock in 2 months' time in search of warmer weather. We've come a long way over the last 2 years making this abandoned double canoe sail again. Well, actually for the first time. There's been a lot of work done, but there's still a lot more to do if I'm going to safely traverse the English Channel and the Bay of Biscay this year. In recent months, we've fixed dodgy engines, I've freshened up this lovely interior and constructed a boom. Now as the weather gets better and the days get longer, it's time to book some solid progress. In this week's video, I feel like there was a bit of a gear change and we're starting to tick off some of those key critical jobs, and we're making decent progress towards that departure date. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the video. On the plans that Hanneke hand drew for me, there is a system for the main sheet, which includes 2 single blocks on the boom and then an arrangement of blocks on the aft beam, so I'll get to that. I was asking in the last video what I should do about screwing the gooseneck to the mast, because I was putting self-tapping screws in there, and the overwhelming majority of people said drill and tap and put some machine screws in. So I have some A2, so 304 stainless machine screws, which I will put in temporarily. I'll order some A4 ones if I can find some online and then just replace them. It's difficult to get the exact center. Three taps. I guess we start with this one and then work our way to the perfect size. Conveniently it has 1, 2, and then I guess that's the third one because that's got the most thread. Oh no. Oh. This is going to be a lengthy process if I keep doing it like this. This is working. I wish they did tap extensions, that would be good. Ah, that could be okay. They're a bit on the small side. It's nice and tight though, but I don't know. So I need to have, for my main sheet, 3 blocks on this beam, and I was thinking about riveting or screwing on a fitting which I can just directly attach the block to, but I'd like to actually have all of that strain of the block taken by the whole of the boom, not just a fitting which is stuck on the boom. So I'm going to lash around here with Dyneema, and this is just going to keep the lashings for that block in place so that it doesn't slide around the boom. I keep saying boom because I've been saying boom so many times. So that's my 3 beam blocks sorted. Just need to lash some blocks onto the boom. Still a bit of a dry fit at the moment. This won't be the final iteration. Just need to test it all out and see how it's going to be. Shout out to San, who gave me these proper fancy pants blocks. They've got little Dyneema hooky majiggies, so I'm gonna lash them on with Dyneema. So I'm guessing it's gonna be a bowline or bowline through here, like so. Then it's really good. I can feel when I push the boom over and I just give it a little pull on the main sheet, the boom comes in really easily because of the mechanical advantage of having so many pulleys. It doesn't quite fit at the moment. My tiller bar is in the way, so I just need to make the attachment points for the sheet just a little bit higher, also lengthen the single blocks at the end. The block in the middle, thought that was supposed to be a double, but it's a single. So I need some attachment points, maybe some cleats to the boom, to the beam. Yeah, it's good. I definitely need to properly tighten my forestay, because I can feel with all this extra weight, with the boom, with the sail, and with the downforce of the main sheet, I can just see that my aft shrouds have gone a little bit slack. I'm gonna have to take, before I go sailing, take all this off again and tension my forestay, and I'm gonna put a new inner forestay on when my parents get here in a couple of days, because I've got a fitting which I ordered when I was back in the UK, so that fitting should also add some more support to the mast as well. Obviously my biggest fear is something going wrong with the wigging, so I need to get that right. As long I might even put an extra stay on. Oh, I'm leaving this year, and I am nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous about going out to the sea and encountering the inevitable conditions. You can't always be a fair weather sailor, you have to experience the rough. I will aim for good weather, but you always get caught out. Still got a couple of months to go though, and I have to remember to enjoy the process. That's the main thing, but it is nerve-wracking. Still need to build a little bit more confidence, but we've already done some good sailing, so it can only get better, but the conditions can only get worse. So I'm pretty happy with the main sheet. I've actually not gone with the 2 single blocks at the end. I've just tied it off at one end. It just clears up a bit more space. I'm not sure if that will decrease the mechanical advantage, but yeah, I've just got it set up like this. Looking at this area with this aft deck and just seeing the gaps and stuff, it's just really annoying me. So I want to build up the aft deck, but I saw a problem with the steering system. So they're connected to these metal fittings, and I saw that one of the metal fittings, from perhaps turning a little bit too much, it's put too much tension on it and it's pulled away from the hull. So I need to bolt through, create a backing plate so that it's a really strong connection. I can't be having this steering link just pulling off in a big sea and losing hand steering. The good thing about these boats is you're always able to steer with the tiller. So, but yeah, I want to make this bracket strong. The steering lines come off this double block and the force of it has pulled it away here. So I've just put like a long screw through just to see where it pops out on the other side, and it's at a really awkward place. But it's a little bit similar to my aft beam, so I'm going to do a similar sort of backing plate to what I have there. It's like a multi-layered one. I'm going to drill this out and put an 8mm bolt through it, and that is the idea. Certainly not pretty. So it's definitely a bit of a no-no to epoxy over painted wood, but this looks really strong. I very much doubt that the steering bracket thingy-majig will pull out again. On the other side, it was actually screwed into the wood properly, so I've just replaced the smaller screws with bigger lag screws. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Well, it's definitely not coming out again. So I'm going to build up the aft deck. I cut out the grooves of the second beam that goes across. Whew. Takes a long time to do that stuff. Been working for 5 hours straight, and this is all I've done. Cut these beams to fit. They're going to be resting on the hull, so I want to protect the hull. So I have these rubber patches which will hopefully stop any damage to the hull tops. Hull tops? The deck. I'm going to build up the deck so that it comes to the aft beam. Obviously I'll leave a gap for this, and in the corners where the main sheet comes from. Yesterday I hauled another load of Douglas fir planks. So this stuff, it's not the prettiest stuff, but it's very weather resistant. I'm definitely going to do this after deck in this wood. Perhaps look to change the rest of the wood on deck, or just try and make it look pretty somehow, so it doesn't look so brutalist like it does at the moment. I've also done a very well thought out aft deck suspension lashing. It's going to help hold it all in place. Once it's all lashed down to these beams and the aft beam, it should be pretty secure. I don't expect to be taking too many big waves on the aft. It's just a little bit of insurance in case I do get it. It's probably going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen out there. But I think it'll be alright. I'm just thinking about my last catamaran and how low the bridge deck clearance was on it. It was incredibly low. And I was sailing in some pretty short, steep waves many times, and it did slam up on the bridge deck. But that bridge deck was it was less than a metre, and it pounded only in really big waves. So I think I've almost got 2 meters here, not quite, but probably got 1.5 meters clearance. I think that should be enough for what I'm aiming to do this year. Still very inexperienced with the boat, so I just don't know. Could be a case of I run into some heavy weather and decide that it needs changing, and then I need to change it up. Gonna start laying down the planks, get a rough shape, make a bit of a start. Just need to take it down a little bit. I knew it was a little bit tall when I bought it, so I'll just plane off about 1 centimetre, 7mm. Now that is some proper prime real estate. Loads of space now.
I've got the very rough shape, the brutalist shape. The next job is just to tidy it up, lash it down, make it less brutalist. Feels very sturdy. It's not lashed down yet properly, but feels good. Very happy. We can probably all agree that it looks a little bit crap at the moment with the gaps which I've left room for the main sheet, and it's just very square and a little bit offensive on the eyes, especially when I look at it from the drone. And the mission now is to make it look better somehow. I think it's looking a lot better now, just rounding off the corners and also using the router just to take the edge off. It just looks like it's been laid with a bit more purpose. It's not beautiful carpentry, but it'll do. Now that I've sorted out this sort of aft deck, it's making me look at the main deck and just looking at how ragged it is, how the planks don't quite align, and again, harsh edges and cracks, and I sort of laid it down in a bit of a rush. But I think today I'm just gonna tidy that up and just see how good I can get it looking. Reinforce a few extra bits of the deck with underneath supports. So just pottering and making things look nice. But my parents are coming in 2 days, so they're going to come with an engine in a forestay fitting, and we should have dry weather as well, so there'll be lots of work getting done in the next video. But yeah, for the rest of this one, just fixing up this deck. This 4 netting that we put on quite hastily, I'm gonna have to redo it. I'm gonna actually screw some fittings onto the hulls to properly attach it, but it was just a sort of makeshift thing to have just before going onto the sea. Yeah, it's very badly put on. It's interfering with the deck, so I'll take it off for now. Once I put my new inner forestay on, I'll sort it out properly. I went rogue, I went off the line. It's a little bit cheeky, just rounding off the corners, but it makes a big difference. I kind of wish when I first laid down this deck, I took a little bit more time just to get every plank straight, and maybe also do this route off the edges, because it looks so much better. The planks are not fully straight, but I think this is going to be fine for now. The wood's not rotten, there's no point in replacing it. It just looks a bit naff, but just a few little efforts today have lifted it a little bit, I guess. My parents are bringing my engine down, so in a couple of days we'll be lifting that engine onto the sled, and where I did the deck in front of it, it's not really well supported, so I'm just putting in a little hardwood piece just to solidify that, because I know with a full adult and an engine standing on the precipice of that aft deck, it's going to go in and be a disaster. So this little supporting piece of wood should help. The list is getting smaller, so the aft net or aft deck is done. We're making progress. 2 months I think is enough time if I really get my arse into gear and work on all these things. I think we'll be good for a June departure. Setting off in the nice weather, building confidence, making my way down south. It's happening. I've just taken delivery of proper machine bolts, loads of really good quality screws, fixings. In the last few videos I got a lot of good advice from you guys who've been there and done it. I'm just wondering now, what is the best way to screw into wood on my boat? So far I've just been putting epoxy on the screw, dabbing as much epoxy in the hole and then screwing it in, but I don't know if that's the best way, whether I need to use some sealant as well. But then how do you navigate using a sealant when you're using a wet unset epoxy as well? I've been trying to avoid screwing into the boat at all costs, but it's getting to the point now where I'm gonna have to start screwing stuff in. Stuff for my sheets, for my jib, and just so many things. So what's the best way to screw into the boat? Pre-drill, put epoxy in there, and is that fine? Or do I need sealant? Let me know. I still need to lash down all the decks thoroughly. I've got them all sort of in place, in line, a little bit crooked, but they're going to be lashed down properly before I leave. I do need to tighten up my inner lashings on the booms first before I properly lash down the deck before leaving. So I might go sailing on the lakes, stretch them out a bit, do some final adjustments and then leave. We'll see. If you got to this point in the video, please leave a like, subscribe. It's completely free. It's like being able to give a tip in a restaurant, but you don't even have to pay anything. So like, subscribe, leave a comment, that helps a lot. Advice on these screws, yeah, let me know what you think. I know there was probably quite a few dodgy things in this episode. Yeah, there's a few things I might just have to go over again, like the machine bolts on the gooseneck. Thanks to everyone for watching. An extra special thank you to my patrons, coffee givers, PayPalers, super thankers on YouTube. Don't forget, if you are subscribed to my Patreon or coffee or PayPal, I post a video every week that I'm not making a video, just a little progress update, just a 6, 7, 8 minute video. Thank you so much. Your contributions are helping me to get across the line. So thanks again for watching, and see you in the next video in 2 weeks time. With my parents here, we're gonna hopefully blitz a few more of the jobs off the list. Bye bye.